Chat, hello again. Thank you for your patience with us and our technical incompetence. Uh, but yeah, we're gonna be. Yeah, I'm gonna assume that a lot of you already know uh, the basics of what's happened. Uh, as far as the Jeyzeus drama goes. But for those of you who don't, this guy, Kieran Jeyzeus Hayes, has been operating within the MCR scene for about a year now, and he's been using his, frankly, D-list notoriety to garner an audience of largely young children, uh, and exploiting them in non-Twitch friendly ways. So, the Discord and subreddit mods have been collecting information, receipts over the past couple weeks so that we can release one great big master post, which all of us have linked in our socials, which we're going to plug eventually. But if you guys are in the MCR Discord server, we have it pinned in our announcements. We're basically trying to signal boost it everywhere. So join the MCR server, get the uh, get the Google Doc and just share it like everywhere. We need to get the word out that this man is a danger to society and he can't be given a platform at all. Now, what our goal is with this stream is that we want to go over some of the sort of tertiary details that we didn't necessarily get to touch on because there is frankly so much lore when it comes to the whole Jeyzeus incident that I mean, if you look at the document, it's 5 pages in 9-point font, single spaced. So we've already got a really dense packaging there. Uh, so right now we're gonna go over like some real specifics over like Jeyzeus's more manipulative tendencies, the way he tries to like weasel out of whatever bind he's gotten himself in, and also just meme on him a little bit because, my God, after you read these DMs, you're never gonna look at him the same way again. Uh, yeah, it turns out pedophiles are just very, very stupid people. So, you know what? Let's just jump right into it. Uh, so, actually, we never introduced ourselves. So, what's up? It's your boy Manny. I'm gonna be, I guess, taking the lead on this today. Other mods, introduce yourselves.
Uh,
I oh
oh,
you go
my
ahead.
name is Dana, and yeah, we're here. I mean, basically, the point of this is that Jeyzeus has been, well, I guess it's now deleted, but was previously going around saying that we're trying to hide things and cover things up and not going to show you the whole story. So we're here to basically show you literally everything, and not crop, no funny screenshot business, just like all of it, to really give you the whole story from every side and let you come to your own conclusions.
And just, for what it's worth, I don't think any of us are like a huge fan of leaking DMs, but I think given the circumstances, this is very much worth doing.
Yeah. Um yeah, it's a push come to shove situation. Well, hi. I'm Saint Viticus. I'm a mod in the Discord server. It was actually because of this whole DM happened because I had announced to the Discord that there was an alternative to watching the so-called like lost and rare MCR 2003 Halloween show. It was the Google Drive. So I announced it there, and I was DM'd by Mantle, who seemingly is Jeyzeus' friend, and he was like, "Hey, can you come into a group chat with me?" And I was like, "Weird, fine, but sure." And he drags me into this, and I see that name, and I immediately want to nope out because the it's not because of anything. I was not really involved with his quote unquote evidence. I like at first, this is the subreddit mods were handling it. So they had seen everything, they were interacting directly with him. I had no interest to do that because I just obviously, why would you want to interact with a person like this? So I immediately was like, hell no. And they freak out and they're like, oh my god, no, wait. So I had the two other mods because I don't want to face this alone. It's two people that I don't know and I. So I had them both. And that's, we were, I believe, in voice call. And we just kind of start going through this because it's pretty huge. Just this whole situation. He had been badgering the subreddit mods. He had been badgering everyone, and we did not communicate with him. We saw all the evidence that he was posing. We did not shut him down, like from the mod mail. Well, not me, but the subreddit mods. They heard him
And
out, I
oh boy,
guess.
are we gonna go over the mod mail.
Yeah,
Hey,
the mod mail
yeah,
is a lot.
Ross here. I just joined in. I figured I should hop on. Yeah, the mod mail was kind of ridiculous. It was over 20 unanswered mod mail messages that he had sent. Manny can go into the details more, but it was me that brought it to everyone else's attention because I just all of a sudden was getting flooded, by a guy that I had completely forgotten about in the last
Oh,
year.
hey, real
You
quick,
know,
Ross, you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. I'm Ross the Divorcer, Reddit mod. I don't do anything on Discord, but yeah. So, yeah. Sorry about the lack of introduction,
No, you're
but
good.
it was just a bizarre, because again, he was so irrelevant to us since banning him over a year ago, and then just all of a sudden, just again swarming mod mail. I mod a couple other subreddits as well, and I've never had someone as unhinged in mod mail as he was. Just the constant stuff, and the screenshots were incredibly repetitive. It was nothing that wasn't also sent to the Discord mods because he had so little quote unquote evidence. It was just a really bizarre. I never replied once. None of us did. Um, it was just a really odd situation.
Yeah, so we're just gonna tackle this one step at a time. And I think the best place to start is, of course, our group DM with him. Uh, it's got some real meme potential, boys, so buckle in. Uh, so as Saint Vinicus was saying, Mantle and Jesus added them to this chat first, and then they add me and Dana, so we can sort of level the playing field here. And pretty much right at the gate, Kieran is just talking about, how all of his accusers are lying about him. Just typical. If you've ever seen a response to any Me Too incident, you've heard this 1,000 times before, and it just keeps on going for a bit. Nothing wild happens, and then we get this. So this is going to be his primary line of defense, right? That uh, the original poster who brought Kieran to the public eye was manipulated by their friends into posting the original call up post. Uh, and so one other thing you're gonna want to pay attention to is that Mantle is not a native English speaker, and this is going to be important moving forward. Uh, so yeah, what we're if you've read the document, there's a lot of pretty clear evidence to show that Kieran has been gaslighting the initial accuser Nix into sort of reneging on their initial call out. and it is actually really disgusting what he's been saying to them. Like, uh, one of the big things that he's been saying is that like all of their friends are gonna like turn on them like in an instant, uh, and that yeah, Nyx is better
Yeah.
off. Yeah.
Oh, the sorry. It's later on there are like actual screenshots where you can see him like cutting off um a portion of him saying that stuff, but you can get the bit where he's like, if you let this go, they'll turn into monsters, which is yeah, it kind of speaks for itself. A lot of these screenshots kind of speak for themselves, which is really ironic because he uses it as defense. He uses that as evidence that they are, you know, not that they lied, that they weren't manipulated, which is very interesting because he also pulls up that case with the screenshots that were on the Tumblr post. It says, oh, they're very poor quality, they were cropped, etc. When exactly he's doing the same thing. So it's very funny. It's very hypocritical, and that's kind of a theme with him. He's a big hypocrite, and I mean that's to no surprise.
Yeah, so this is his other big line of defense that he didn't know. Oh, also, there's just a content warning. There is going to be a lot of misgendering here that is frankly intentional. So I'm just gonna.
Yeah, and also there's I mean like misgendering, just pretty awful stuff. I mean, yeah, the topic at hand is pretty heavy, so there's gonna be drug mentions, there's gonna be pedophilia mentions, there's gonna be like pretty pretty awful stuff. And I guess we should have really prefaced this like more, but again, don't contact this guy. Don't contact anyone involved with this, with the exception of us, I guess. Um, and this isn't like this isn't us calling for a war, I guess. We just want to set the record straight because he, time after time, said that we weren't presenting evidence, that we were hiding, that we were lying, obscuring things, which is not true. We want to finish this once and for all. So, want to get that clear. We want to get it concrete. So, please don't contact this guy, block him, ignore him, do not give him the time of day. And yeah.
All right. So moving on. This is one of the things that he brings up. Now, oh, also just a real quick content warning. Another one. Sorry, there is just a lot of gaslighting here. Uh, it is kind of gross. So if this is the kind of thing that like is gonna trigger you a little bit, I don't know. Genuinely, you should click off the stream because this is just a massive thread that runs through. Okay, so here, okay, this is a screenshot that Kieran uses as evidence, and in this seemingly Nyx, this individual stress depressed emo mess, uh, appears to say that the whole situation, that being the initial cancellation a year ago, got out of hand really quickly, and it got much bigger than they had intended. Uh, and also seemingly apologizing for calling Jeyzeus mean names.
Yeah. And sorry, I'd also like to know that at the top where he's cropped like what seemingly is his message is like, but last night had a couple of drinks and Xanax to work up the courage and just reach out. I was scared that immediately you would block me like you did when you first accused me, which is a big theme. How he uses his drug abuse and this kind of like sense of victimization of saying that he's afraid, that he's anxious. He uses anxiety as kind of like a crutch to I guess excuse his actions.
Yeah,
And he's telling this to a minor, reminder, and
yeah, absolutely.
he's an adult. He should not be bringing this type of stuff up to a kid.
By the way, you
It,
guys,
yeah,
oh
sorry.
god.
Sorry.
I was just gonna say, both like, you, Ross, Dana, all of you guys can interrupt me whenever to say your piece. Um,
Yeah, I mean, I think you're doing a pretty good job so far.
Mhm.
Just really, getting through it and explaining everything.
okay, thank you guys. And yeah, here's just like your first taste of the overt narcissism that Kieran just approaches everything with. He's, dude, one day I was like king of the scene, parentheses, not a good thing. And as you can see, like, okay, for one, the man was a D-list celebrity as far as MCR fandom goes. He ran a YouTube channel where he remastered stolen content, uh, and like he tried to build a cult after this. Okay, he was not the king of any scene. Most people didn't know his name. They may have like seen his YouTube channel, but as far as like him being a known figure, that ain't it, Chief. Uh, and yeah, he's got this overinflated sense of like his own worth to the scene. Is gonna just keep coming back. Now, first meme of the day. Uh, Saint Viticus says, Nyx is still underage because they are. Uh, she's 17. Hey, guys, is 17 underage?
Sure is.
Yeah.
It sure is, isn't it? Yeah. I actually Googled it, and the age of consent in Tasmania is supposed to be 17. Uh, but that's also only for, you know, other underage people. So that doesn't count for him. Uh, so one other thing is actually we don't know exactly how old he is. We're pretty sure he was born in 1994 based on an old VK profile screenshot. But yeah, he's been very cagey about that, and I think it's intentional because as you're gonna see in a lot of these screenshots moving forward, he lies about his age all the time. So yeah, we meme on him a little bit because I don't know how you just let something like this go. Uh, which in New Jersey's the legal age is 16. And I've never said anything sexual to Nyx. Uh, yeah, no, that's definitely not true. If you read Nyx's initial Tumblr post, which we link to in the document, there are some really damning screenshots of him saying some pretty NC-17 things to literal kids.
Well, actually, I'm gonna correct you a little bit. Like, as far as we know, that might be true. That he never said anything explicit to Nyx. Like to Nyx specifically, but we do know that he said things to other people that were even younger than Nyx, so it doesn't really matter, if it was directly to Nyx or not.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's fair. Thanks for
Yeah.
the correction there.
And I mean, like, it's kind of very clear, this guy's thought process, because his first reaction to it when they're told that this kid is underage, he immediately says, like, no, they're not underage. By the way, the legal age in, like, wherever is, 16. It's like, well, that doesn't matter. Like, they're still a kid through, like, anyone. Like, if you just think about it, a 17-year-old isn't an adult. When you're 17, think about, like, if you're not like older than 17, it doesn't apply to you, but if think back to when you were 17. What were you like?
Yeah, I mean, I know most of you, I guess not necessarily most of you, but like some of you in chat are probably like 16, 17, 15, 14, uh, and you don't really get this yet, but I promise you, as a bunch of boomer 20-somethings, y you'll realize that like once you hit like 18, 19, 16-year-olds live in a completely different world from you. And once you hit 21, even like 18-year-olds seem to like live in a completely different world from you, right? It's just the level, like the things that you care about, the things that you like, the way you talk about things is just going to be so different that like you're never going to be able to make any kind of common connection unless you, as the older person, are like extremely immature, and Kieran is himself very immature.
I think also it's really important to note that like a lot of these like age of consent laws, like where he's saying like, oh, 16 is legal, like in the state where they're from, a lot of those laws have to do with like between minors themselves. So like if the age of consent is 16, it's like between like 16-year-olds with each other, and it's still illegal for
Romeo
Exactly.
and
an
Juliet laws.
adult.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, Romeo and Juliet laws. So, yes, the other girls, what? The one who admitted to Nick she lied to me about her age. I, does anyone, he's got a
Yeah,
William
this is
writing.
about the third victim who did lie about her age, but she said she was 15, which is still absolutely illegal in any way you look at it, and is not a defense. Um, but she actually, like, her real age at the time was 12.
Yeah, it's pretty deplorable how he immediately shifts blame to the victim here. He's like the one who admitted she lied about her age, where he knows that the age that was lied about was 15, still a minor. So he completely like does not bring that up, and I think doesn't even acknowledge it when we bring it up.
No, yeah,
Yeah, he just like skips past it.
he
Yeah,
just completely
he
ignores
there's
it.
yeah, there's a big pattern of him just skipping like things that we have mentioned and immediately just going straight to like you know talking himself. Like it's very clear he kind of just only wants to hear himself.
Yeah, because like it's very easy to manipulate 15-year-olds, but it doesn't really work the same way when you're talking to other people who are the same age. Uh,
It's kind of baffling. This guy's almost 30.
yeah, I mean, as far as we know, he may be older, he may be a little
Yeah,
younger. Uh,
allegedly. Yeah.
yeah. Uh, there were, there isn't any others though. We were always 100% appropriate and run a tight ship. I mean, this is real rich, because he's essentially alleging that every single other screenshot that we have is 100% fake. Now, it's easy in theory to like fake a screenshot, but there are so many screenshots. I mean, you can write a novel out of the number of screenshots that we have. And he's essentially saying that every single one of those are fake. Uh, what comes next? Yeah, if you want to twist screenshots to start drama and drum up hate while silencing the woman who actually wrote the post, as well as every other woman who knows me. Yeah. And yeah, okay, this is pretty indicative of like his own level of maturity. How can you even call yourselves MCR fans by doing that? They don't even want evidence. So, to the adults in chat, you guys remember when you were like teenagers and your association with a fandom was the most important thing for you?
Hmm.
Yeah, well, that really doesn't matter. I mean, that really shouldn't matter when you, I don't know, graduate high school. Uh, but
I mean, sorry. It's
yeah,
like,
no.
yeah, like fandom is fine. It's if you're like older, it's fine that you participate in it. But again, he's using this like weird like crux where it's like taking something like we clearly care about, like MCR, and using it against us and saying like, oh, this is like not what you guys should be standing up for. This like you guys just silenced me, and it's like he brings this up a lot actually, using MCR as like some weird like shield, and it's kind of gross if you think about it. Like you don't even need to think about it. It's kind of just clearly gross because why would you do that? You should be kind of like owning up to stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
So
I
it's
guess
just sorry. Go
no,
ahead.
you're good. Uh, yeah, I mean, I guess if you sort of want to analyze it a little bit more, I think he sort of sees himself as a semi-religious figure in like the religion of MCR fandom. Uh, Because I mean, the what he's essentially doing is like he's saying that, oh, you're not a true whatever if you don't if you're gonna go around accusing people. I mean, like, like Glitch just said in chat, he's saying to his fans, support me or you're not a true MCR fan. MCR wouldn't do this to me.
Yeah, he like yeah, like it's something gross because it's like something that like his I guess quote unquote fans care about, like because MCR fans are very like intense, and
No, and
when
unironically, this is what cult leaders do, right?
hmm exactly, they're like, well, if you don't do this, God's gonna hate you.
Yeah, and instead of Jesus, he's talking about Jesus. Got him.
Shut up, man.
Let's see. They want to hate me and they've already made up their mind. I mean, look, he's already starting this pity party, right? He's like referring to himself in I don't know how to describe this, like, right? It's like he's writing in his diary like they want to hate me and they've already made up their mind. Like you can
His sorry, go ahead.
No, yeah, I was just saying like you could pretty much imagine him doing like an emo hair flip.
Yeah, it's totally like fucking back of your hand stapled to your forehead type behavior where it's like you guys don't understand me. If you knew me, it's like you don't know me. You only like what is I'm sorry, my brain's fried. It's like you don't know my story. You only know like my appearance or how I am on the outside or whatever. It's that like cringe like Tumblr post type situation.
Yeah, again, it's the kind of thing that you like tell your parents in an argument when you're 15 years old,
Yeah.
but you should grow out of it at some point.
Yeah, yeah. And like here we leave because we've been dealing with him for a while. So it's just frustrating, and we kind of thought a little bit better of it because it's like oh yeah, this is like the most memeable like screenshot in this entire thing. Like it's so ironic. He pulls it like I don't think he's a pedophile. I just
I mean, I don't think anything even needs to be said about that, right?
Yeah, I
the
think I
fucking
like
Veggie
literally
Tales.
ask him for the rest of it, and he just like ignores me and moves on.
Yeah, and so he sent another message from K-Boss and he's just like uh I mean it's a completely different message. And I mean I don't even know what this is supposed to prove.
Yeah, so like this is a message of Kayla, one of the victims, talking to Carly, who I guess is one of his friends. And Kayla is just saying like, "Hey, we're leaving the server. We're gonna like go to a different server." And then yeah, he just I don't know what that had anything to do. I think I asked him like I'm like, "Okay, so she left a server. So what? Like what does this have to do with anything?"
I think it was the whole like server drama type thing where he was like they're trying to take away my server. It was whatever it's like Jay's Kingdom or whatever, some really weird name. And clearly it's like he's like claiming it's like, oh, they changed the name and they changed like the picture or something. And we were like, that's not stealing a server, that's just kind of messing with it, which of course isn't really cool, but he knew that they were joking. Also, I'm sorry for my fucking memes.
Yeah, after this point, me and Sam just sort of stopped taking this guy seriously, and we just start memeing on him a little bit more than we maybe should have, but I think it was deserved.
Yeah,
Uh,
this
Yeah.
screenshot here is a picture from one of his friends, the user that we saw above, Carly or Versailles.
Versailles.
Versailles. Okay. Anyway, that person sending him a message saying, "Oh, I feel bad that I didn't defend you." Like that doesn't prove anything.
And it's completely cropped out again with no like context or anything, and it's really funny because his entire argument is based on like, hey, you guys don't have the context for any of the screenshots. It's like, well, we don't have the context for yours, so why should we care? You know, it's like, plus we have more screenshots than he really ever considers.
Yeah, I mean, this is essentially like if you're brought before court and instead of like bringing evidence to your defense, you just bring character witnesses.
You just bring your fucking stoner friend. Like, nah, man, he's cool. You let me eat his Doritos once. It's like, fucking whatever.
Yeah, so here we like start demanding that he send us like full screenshots instead of just crop messages. And so Mantle, God, okay, you're gonna love Mantle at the end of this, okay? He's just innocent in all of this.
I mean, I wouldn't. I don't know. He's just some guy. I wouldn't go say innocent because we don't know him. He's just some guy. He's just some dude.
He's just like caught in the crossfire.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just a dude who, I mean, I think he clearly doesn't know the full extent of what's going on.
Yeah. Plus, it's like it brought on by fucking Jeyzeus, so it's like probably fed some bullshit. So
Yep. So yeah, again, we asked for like an uncropped screenshot, and he gives us another cropped screenshot. Dan, I want to go a little bit into like what this screenshot's about.
Yeah, I mean, this is basically just like part of the conversation that he had with Nyx, where he was like basically convincing them that to, like gaslight them into retracting their statement. But I feel like even from these messages, at least to me, it seems like Nyx is more apologizing for the extent and the reach of the post, but not for the actual content. Like nowhere does Nyx say like, oh, it was made up, but just that like maybe it wasn't gone about the right way.
mm-hmm. And this also like brings up the whole like weird situation that they talked about, like how was it? Yeah, Kayla or was angry because Nyx thought that he and them were a thing.
Oh yeah,
I don't
okay,
really
so,
know the whole
so what
like, story
happened there
behind
was that he basically let Nyx believe that they were dating and didn't say otherwise.
A 12-year-old at the time, by the way.
No.
Mm.
Nyx was
not the
16.
Nyx was 16. Okay.
Anyway, yeah, so Nyx is the one that made the Tumblr post. They were 16 at the time, and in the post they said that they were dating him. And then he went around and was like, "Oh, you lied. We never dated, like whatever." But there are screenshots between him and Nyx where he says like, "Oh, I left it open, but like I didn't consider what we had as dating." So like if Nyx believed that they were dating and you didn't correct it and you didn't stop it, you didn't do anything to make them not think that, then they're not lying because they believed that you were. Just because after the fact you say, oh, I didn't consider it dating, like, and you did, so you lied, doesn't really help.
Plus, like, that whole, like, kind of, like, ambiguous relationship type deal, of course, shouldn't even be in the first place, like,
Yeah, of
around a
course.
child. But that is also, like, pretty, like, leaving stuff like that open-ended is pretty manipulative. Like,
Leading
because he
people
can,
on in a relationship is just
yeah,
so scummy.
yeah. And he of
Especially
course,
children.
probably, yeah. He, of course, probably, like, did that to kind of, like, quote-unquote cover his ass and be like, oh, yeah, we weren't dating because I said we weren't dating. I never said it officially. It's like, doesn't matter. It's still a child who fucking freak. Well, anyway.
Yeah, so yeah, this is another aspect of his defense. You're not my mom. And honestly, you have to admit, even though I didn't know her age at the time. Oh, again, misgendering. He's just gonna keep doing this over and over
No,
again.
he's talking about Kayla.
Oh God, there are so many people I can't keep track. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. I'll let you know if you have anything mixed up. But yeah, so he's talking about Kayla here, which is the person that, like, all the screenshots from the original Tumblr post, those were all messages sent to Kayla, who was 14 at the time. And if you look, like, in the document that we put out, even if you just look at the screenshots themselves, it is completely clear that he knows her age. Like, he says things like, oh, I like would have asked you to do this if I hadn't asked your age first. So, like, clearly you know her age because you did ask her age first, or you wouldn't say something like that. Like, you wouldn't word it that way if you thought she was of age, you know?
Yeah. Oh, okay, and yeah, I meme on him a little bit here. I might have gone a little too far with this one. Okay, yeah, and I mean, this is the grossest thing. Like, you see a lot of like Me Too accused people try and sort of like disparage the reputation of their accusers, but this is just like next level dirty, right? That's that girl's kink, not mine. She lied about her age. Like,
Remember, he's talking about a 12-year-old who said she was 15. Like, a 12-year-old. A child, an actual child, not even a teenager, like a kid. Like, okay, sure, he thought she was 15, that's still a kid, you know?
and like if you want to know like the specific thing that this is referencing, I don't think we can actually talk about it on Twitch because
It's extremely explicit. Like, it is, the messages that were sent to this victim are so awful.
we do have them in the document, but yeah, we can't talk about that on Twitch. It's just God, you will want to bleach your eyes out after you read it. Yeah. And he makes it a feminist issue because of course he does. Let's see, lying about the age, blah 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 blah. Your receipts were tampered. Yeah, we literally have like a novel full of receipts, and he's implying that all of them were tampered. Nyx admitted, everyone admitted. Like, nobody admitted. Nobody has admitted to like lying about this.
Well,
Uh,
and he was never relevant enough for all these people to do this massive conspiracy to fuck him over. I mean, that's the other thing. It's like, why would all this have been made up?
no, yeah, exactly. Like this guy was like I wouldn't even say a D-list. My man was a Z-list celebrity.
Yeah.
He's
He's big
literally
enough
just
to be able to he's big enough to be able to like abuse his following, but not big enough to like have people be malicious to him for no reason, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, he was literally just like taking other people's content and just like making it a little clearer, and that's what he banked in on. And kind of sad, really. Like, restoration projects in and of itself, it's not a problem. But like the way he really like attached his name to it, kept promoting his band under it, kept like being like, "Oh, it's my stuff, it's me." It was kind of weird.
Like, okay, let's be real. Restoration, I mean, like, okay, it's time intensive, I guess, but nowadays everything like is done by AI programs. You just need to run that through like, I don't know, some like program that you can buy, and that's it. It's not like he's doing a major service that nobody else can do. He was just like the first man
Yeah.
on the scene.
I mean, yeah, the whole thing about like stirring up conspiracy, like being like, "Oh, I'm being persecuted" thing, like Nitro said, is like a definite cult leader thing. And yeah, and I didn't really think about the whole cult leader aspect. I was just like kind of saying this guy's just a manipulative asshole. But yeah, this is definitely really scary now putting it on under that lens.
No, yeah. I mean, I've been thinking it for a while, but I mean, that's literally what it is. He's trying to run a cult.
Which it's funny. But yeah, no, like he dead ass is kind of trying to like just inflate his ego through a cult of children. But yeah, you can see here he like rage quits,
Yeah, he.
saying that this is my favorite like line ever. I want to get it framed.
Buy again, internet. Justice is gone.
Justice is gone.
Dude just like cries about cancel culture and dips.
Which
Yeah,
is
and then
really
after this,
ironic.
like,
Oh, sorry.
oh no, I was just gonna say, like, basically, we play telephone with Mantle, talking to him until we eventually tell him, like, we're not going through a messenger like this.
Yeah, I start making Chris Hansen jokes right about now. Let's see. Yeah, okay. See, uh, this guy, he's very obviously like ESL. You know, I don't think that he could like really completely grasp the sort of verbal nuances in a lot of the screenshots that we had because you know, it requires a level of familiarity with the language that like needs you to understand like what when somebody is being manipulated, you know, double entendres, you know, the sort of thing that you need to have like it goes beyond fluency, right? You need to have a deeper level of understanding of the language that you only really get if you've been around native speakers speaking it all the time for a very long time. And he clearly doesn't have that. So let's see. Yeah, okay, here it is. This is like the worst screenshot that he has ever sent us. Uh, Jesus says, this is to Nyx. He says, uh, have you talked to Kayla? And Nick says, not yet. Honestly, I'm scared too because if I got this wrong and I fuck it up, I would be able to forgive myself. It probably wouldn't be. Uh, I'm still waiting on V. That's fair. You know how Kayla will turn on you like she did to V, and she'll become some kind of monster. I'm here for you though. Just try to ignore it. I mean, dude, this is like so scary, honestly.
Yeah, like,
Well, and
Nyx
even
is
in the
like a
first,
kid trying to
oh,
figure things out, and he's just telling them, like, oh, well, you know, your friends are gonna turn on you.
well, and even in that first message in that screenshot, they're saying, you know, I told her that you were gaining momentum and that I was worried something else would happen. I mean, it was like, it seems like their stress was not about going public. It was about making sure others didn't fall into it as well. Maybe they didn't think the whole community was going to know. If you're following what I'm saying at all, you know what I mean?
No, yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
like that screenshot doesn't even say that they weren't scared of him. You know, it's saying you were gaining momentum and I was worried something else would happen. That means another person.
And
Yeah, I think
So,
there's another screenshot that he sent as evidence where, like, I'm assuming it's one of them because the person is cropped out and we don't know who sent it. But one of them says oh, we had to post it because he was getting bigger and like I couldn't stand to see his name on my timeline. Like I couldn't stand like seeing that he was like still gaining a following, and was trying to use that message as evidence that, oh, they only did it because I got big and they were trying to like tear me down. But like, no, they did it because they're trying to protect the rest of the community.
mhm.
and I don't know. I just think the worst line here is like this one. I'm here for you though. Just try to ignore it. I mean, it's just such a sinister thing to say.
It really is.
And I mean, we're trying to explain to this guy that like the screenshots that he's receiving just make uh Jeyzeus look even worse. But I mean, yeah, he doesn't really understand it because, of course he doesn't. Um, yeah, keep him coming for please stand by. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, here's another screenshot from like one of Kieran's friends going
This is what he sent earlier, the one that he sent that was like just the middle of that message cropped out, which is why we knew who it was before, like, because he sent us the full screenshot later, but it doesn't add anything new.
yeah. Uh, you know, it just keeps on going like that. Uh, let's see. When does the next interesting thing happen? Yeah, okay. Here's this. And see, he's Korean, right? Uh,
This is
Mantle.
Mantle, we mean, yeah.
Yeah, this is a screenshot from Mantle's like computer or whatever, and it's in the UI is in Korean, so we can infer things from that. Tell them that I'm not angry at Nyx at all for that post. She was manipulated, and I feel really fucking bad for her. I mean, do I really have to say anything about this? I mean, this is just even more manipulation because now he's manipulating Mantle. And this is just really funny. I just want them to know that both me and Nyx have apologized. Me, I apologize for misgendering her. They use they them pronouns. I apologize for misgendering her. Okay, buddy.
Which, yeah, he has been consistently doing throughout this entire conversation.
Yeah, and look at this dude's DMs. How are those people? Still abusing and attacking me? Sort of. Being childish. Uh, we made a good meme that
As
like,
children.
yeah, as children. Just in your own time, it's really funny if you like read Jesus's messages in like these screenshots in like a British king voice and his in like Mantle's in like a squire voice. It's very funny. Yeah, yeah, Nitro. Hayes may be the worst anime villain of all time.
Well, I think it's important to note as well, I think I said it when I first joined on here, is that the only reason he started messaging us and reaching out again and trying to clear his name is because he was releasing another show. I mean, he was active on Twitter and YouTube a little bit since the ban on Reddit, I know. Um, but this is all just to promote more stuff. You know, he was completely out of, like, no one was talking about him as far as I know, at least on the Reddit side. He was just never in conversation. So, you know, if he's ever saying like, oh, they were being so abusive towards me in this last year, it's like there was no contact. no conversations or anything, you know.
Yeah, no.
This whole thing was him. It was a failed attempt at getting his YouTube career back, so people could send. It wasn't Patreon, but whatever, where you donate money to him. That's all this was about. Trying to be relevant with the community again.
I mean, yeah, it's really clear that that's all he cared about because kind of seeing like the screenshots, there's one where I don't remember who it was too, but he mentions how he wishes that Nix's post about like, you know, clearing it all up and saying sorry would have been convenient for it to drop like before he released the quote unquote rare concert, you know, Halloween concert, which really kind of outlines his MO. And besides that, I mean, we did, of course, we were like doing some digging, and I remember finding just like that he had communicated with like some people in the community, just I think namely the MCR fancast, and saying like, "Oh, we're working on something big. Like, drop a DM." And it's kind of like very clear that he wants to be like all leechy and get back into the community.
He's a clout shark. That's all he is.
Mm-hmm. It is. That's it.
And that's
Okay.
why he was saying in the DMs with the Discord mods, he was like, "Oh, what will you guys do? You know, you just love to hate me, or you know, is like stuff like that. You know, like you're nothing without me, kind of thing." It's like we were very happy, not even thinking about you for the last year. Like we just did not care. Like
I mean, we'd like joke like, "Hey, remember when there was a pedophile in the
yeah, yeah.
community?" And then we'd
Yeah, like when we just talk about different stages of drama that have happened like that. Yeah, that would be just like one of the little one-liners, like every once in a while. Like that's how irrelevant he is, you know, until this last week when he started, you know, being a danger to the community again. So I don't know. It's just it's such a ridiculous situation. And you know, then his brother was commenting on the sub from his account, just with equally pathetic messages, and it's just
Oh
they're
yeah.
just such childish individuals, and it's so irritating. I'm glad we never replied in mod mail because it was just so obviously an attempt to get unbanned so he could advertise that show. It's like, you know, and he should have learned after the first 3 messages that I wasn't going to respond to him. I guess he finally stopped messaging after 22. And actually, the last message was I believe it was the night of him showing the show on YouTube. He hasn't messaged since then. So it actually did stop after it was too late. If anything, just further proving that that's all he cared about. But yeah, it was just such a stupid situation as a whole, with the shit individual.
So, at this point, like Mantle just completely becomes Kieran's mouthpiece. So he's saying like he said that if the screenshots that you, the mods, have about this incident is true, so are his screenshots about this. My man is using Kellyanne Conway's alternative facts defense. It's
It's literally like if A is B, then B is C. You know, it's like then A is C. Like you know, it's that fucking whatever it's called. Like it's just one of the oldest like logical fallacies in the book. So yeah, it's pretty. It's just sad. Like what makes me sad is just having like this rando like is caught up in the middle of it. Like why did you have to drag this fucking random Korean dude into this problem? Which
yeah.
is really ironic because he's always like, "Oh, you guys just like are dragging everything into it." Like and like you're the one that's kind of like dragging literally everyone into it.
Hey guys, guess who's in stream chat?
Nice speculate. Hi, welcome to the chat. Nice having you here. Um,
Hello, Jeyzeus. Hope you stick around, because this
yeah,
is gonna be
we have.
fun.
I knew they
Yeah,
were
this is
in
gonna
here
be fun.
somewhere. There was no way they were gonna miss out on this. They had to listen in.
Yep.
Also, I apologize. I didn't know your pronouns. You know, I don't believe they're in your
Oh,
Instagram bio. I will happily refer to you as whatever your pronouns in. Definitely put them in the chat, you piece of garbage.
yeah, piece of garbage. Yeah, right there. No. Yeah,
Chat.
like
Just take this time to point and laugh at the pedophile.
Well, yeah, it's just for your lawyer. Yeah, not like we didn't contact authorities already. Yeah, don't worry. They got our names, so it's okay.
Yep, so here we are demanding that he
We already did. Well, anyway, yeah, go on.
yeah, we're basically demanding that Jeyzeus come back and like talk to us in person.
Oh
And
yeah, this is the bit where I was like, just tell him to like scroll through his messages because that's kind of the quote unquote empirical truth of Twitter is having screen recording. However, look at this screen recording and tell me if this is anything helpful.
yeah, I mean, what's this supposed to tell us, right?
I guess it's just like to be like, hey, this is like real, but you don't even tap on the profiles, which doesn't help. Yeah, so this is how you do a screen recording of DMs. Example of the stream.
Just like this, yeah.
But yeah, this is basically just kind of us talking with Mantle back and forth. Him, or Mantle being just the messenger, which is super like why you should just like talk to us directly. Like you're grown. You don't need your friend to telephone to us.
Also,
So
this
yeah,
is
it's
just
like
really funny, by the way. I mean, look, on the 26th of March, he says "Hey" to Nix, and my man doesn't get a
yeah,
response.
and gets ignored. Yeah, so it kind of just goes on, and we say like, hey, don't bother with Nyx because they're kid, just kind of they're invisible, they're offline, it's fine. So yeah, here we kind of have to like again, it's kind of like a outline of how Mantle's grasp on the English language isn't the best, which isn't a problem in and of itself. It's just kind of like really an issue when you use someone that doesn't understand the language very well to be your like messenger. It's just not cool.
No, yeah, I mean, me and Saint Viticus, like both of us are ESL. Like, it's not it's difficult, right? When you don't fully understand the language to be able to deal with this sort of thing. It's
Dude,
very
and
easy
I
to get.
still don't I still don't understand English all the way through, but it's a very hard language, so that's why we kind of have an issue with this being kind of present. So yeah, we keep saying that like just bring him in, just bring him in. We have no like you have no business with Mantle because of course we don't know who Mantle is. Why is Mantle even here? So yeah, it goes back and he comes back,
Yeah,
like
and
goes on
look,
a rant.
he sends the same video again. The exact same video. Because this is all he has, right? He has like 4 screenshots
Yeah.
that he keeps sending us over and over and over again because he
Like
has no
we
like.
we
Oh
sorry.
yeah,
Go ahead.
Jesus. So by the way, what are your pronouns? Because I will respect them. Like I just would like to know what they are.
Yeah, listen,
Like very like of course, pronouns are important. So
yeah, I don't think misgendering should be a punishment. Oh, buddy, you got 30 screenshots? Then why didn't you show
Why
us?
didn't you send them?
Yeah.
Yeah, why did you only show 4? If you had 30 screenshots and we let you go on a ramble for an hour, why the fuck didn't you show them?
Oh, wow, you have more than that, huh? Hey,
Yeah, where are they? Where are those screenshots? Whereas we presented an entire document that we spent time on, whereas Nick sent an entire Tumblr post with like an album, where the fuck is your evidence?
friend, we
Are you
asked
just
you,
blowing smoke up your ass?
we asked you a year ago. We asked you a year ago to send
Yeah.
us like all of your evidence.
Anyway,
Yeah, whatever.
it doesn't matter. It's already happened. You already fucked up.
Seethe harder, buddy. Seethe harder. I just hope you know that like you raging out in chat is just making this stream so
Yeah.
much more entertaining.
Well, yeah. Well, here he kind of just like explains the whole like the screenshots, the context of the screenshots, like kind of breaking it down for us. Like we've we've known this. The subreddit mods have sent us this information before. There's like an exception of maybe one or two that we hadn't seen, but it was kind of like the same stuff. It was just a bigger screenshot of older stuff.
Yeah, and all of these
So
screenshots
it's
are in the document, by the way.
yeah. So it's just this is where Dana really knows, because it's like the whole like, oh, I didn't know their age thing, but it's very clear that ages were known, ages were exchanged.
Yeah, so if you like scroll up a little bit,
Here?
maybe some more, like scroll up higher. Oh, I think there's a delay. Yeah, so in this screenshot, where Kayla tells him her age, you can see, well, this isn't the full screenshot, this is cropped, but we have the full screenshot, and Jeyzeus took this screenshot. So, like, this is Jeyzeus's time zone. So this is the date on Jeyzeus's phone was January 27th. And if you scroll down to the other screenshot where he claims that after that, the egg joke one.
The egg joke.
He says in the message right there, I found out the age later that day. So this one was from Kayla's phone, January 27th, same day, 3 p.m.
Oh, so the screenshot's like very deep fried, so I'm just gonna read this out to you. Kayla says, I take that as an insult. Jeyzeus says, it's not. And she responds with an egg emoji. Jeyzeus says, eggs taste good. Do you taste good? The questions of life. Are you a cannibal? And Jeyzeus says, no, I only eat Huh. I wonder what that could possibly mean.
How can you be 20 and sending this fucking garbage?
Yeah.
So yeah, if you look at the next one, like that's the same conversation, right? So the one before was sent from Kayla's phone. This one was sent from Jeyzeus's phone, and you can see that it's the date the next day. And he says like, oh, it's because of time zones. But like both screenshots, this one and the one earlier, were from the same time zone. Like you took both of them, so you just proved yourself that you lied to us when you said you found out the age later that day when it was the day before.
Oh, by the way, I hope you know that you flirt like a 12-year-old. I mean,
you only flirt with 12-year-olds.
Yep, that's true. That's true. Oh, and right here is when oh, by the way, for those of you watching the VOD, Kieran still hasn't told us what his pronouns are. He's just using this as an easy, cheap shot. So we're just gonna keep on moving on. He completely loses his mind here, right?
Yeah.
He goes full on into like conspiracy theory mode. He like calls me and Saint Viticus and Dana like mods on his old server, coming back to ruin his life. Like, okay, look at this. I don't even hate Kayla, honestly. I've been told I should. A lot of people say I should. But she was hurt. I know what it's like to feel left out. And the Unseen show was sick. So if I was banned from seeing it, I would probably do something crazy too. As far as I know, Nyx is probably going to write a retraction. Yeah, look at this. As far as I know, Nyx is probably going to write a retraction. Like, good job, like, speaking for them, my dude.
Yeah, and it's in the mod mail you get the screenshots. You see that he says like, "Oh, Nyx is gonna write." Is like Nyx is gonna make a retraction. Like it's kind of just like putting words into their mouth, and being like, it's clearly very suspicious, and it reminds me of basically, sorry, I was just like thinking, but yeah, like when abuse victims are interviewed by the police, they're usually separated from who they suspect to be the abuser because of things like this. They are usually manipulated into thinking that they're in the wrong, that they should defend their abuser, that they, you know, keep this between us. This never happened. Don't tell your parents that stuff. And it's sadly like that's how abusers and manipulators, get around things.
And it is at this point where we get to my favorite meme from this conversation. I,
Oh God.
I say Epstein's friends said he didn't do it either. St. Vitus says, Bill Cosby had a lot of friends. You want to know what Kieran has to say to that? But
Christ almighty.
but did Epstein's accusers say he didn't do this?
Come on, dude.
I mean, how pathetic do you need to be?
Yeah. Yeah, just it all of these just kind of speak for themselves.
Yeah,
On
and
this guy's like mental like reasoning and like just maturity level.
yep. Oh, yeah, since we're on like the cancellation train, he thinks that Brett Kavanaugh did nothing wrong. So he just loves defending abusers, I guess.
Yeah, well, and then they said that, oh, my mind changed, but that would have been around 2018 when had those beliefs, and that was not his most innocent time frame as far as
Yeah,
internet conduct went.
Yeah.
like
But as a note, they did say that their views have changed on that subject.
Yeah, to be fair. It's a Here at the MCR subreddit and Discord, we believe in mental growth and change. So,
we've
yeah.
all had bad political takes in the past.
Yeah. Well, yeah, so
Some worse than others. But
yeah. Yeah. Definitely worse than others. But yeah, it's just this kind of just this is where it really hits the fan, where it kind of he just starts losing it completely, and it's quite embarrassing in a sense because you can really feel that he's backed himself into a wall.
yeah, I mean, you want to say you're reaching. This dude is like just flailing around, trying his best to grab onto something, but obviously he's just falling, falling, falling. Uh, Here he compares being a drug addict to all the things that he's done on a moral level. Uh, Saint, are you nerdy? Yeah, there he goes, like insisting that we're the mods on his old server. I still don't know what this is supposed to be. Uh, let's see what else we got. Oh yeah, you're reaching, and if this is the MCR community now, then no wonder Gerard has left social media. Because, of course he's like gonna try and invoke uh MCR in this again because he treats this like a religion or like he's a cult leader and like we all worship My Chemical Romance at the altar or whatever because that's just what young stans are like and that's the kind of people that made up his old audience. You guys are like the four last delusional fucks on the internet, and you hated me before this. Like, like Ross said, we didn't care about him at all until he started like coming back in our DMs.
Well, and before all this stuff a year ago, I was a big fan of his content. I mean, I've learned, since maybe the content wasn't that original or whatever, but I was a fan of his posts or their posts. Again, I don't know. the pronouns that I should be using. But I looked forward to his posts, and I think when he first was banned on the sub, he was like a day away from uploading one of the shows, one of the unseen shows or whatever, and I was looking forward to watching it. I wasn't going to see the premiere because, like, screw that, just time, whatever. But I was definitely going to give it a watch, So I was bummed to find out that all this misconduct had been going on, and then banning was an obvious move, and then he was just sort of absent from my mind for the next year. It's just, but it wasn't like we hated him before we found out about his misconduct. I mean, at the very least, I was a fan, not a fan, but I'd every once in a while check his YouTube page and see what shows I hadn't watched before.
I
or
mean, there was
something
the
like that,
understanding that he was like, even if he wasn't producing original content, he was still doing a service by like restoring these
Yeah.
old shows.
Absolutely. And the sound quality was always better, and the video quality was generally a bit better too. So there's, good content.
Yeah.
There was no, nothing even close to negative feelings before, shit started hitting the fan on what we were learning. And, as a sub mod, I've been just sort of a bystander through all of it, even a year ago. It's just, just doing the basic stuff to keep the community safe because we have a lot of teenagers on there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But I've been pretty absent with process both times, I suppose. But again, whenever you would say, "Oh, you guys hated me before," it's like that's not the case. A year ago when we found everything out, yeah, sure, but before that, absolutely not.
It's not like we wanted this to happen,
No.
It's very weird because like his inflated sense of self-importance like really obscures the fact like to him that we didn't want to like have to make this post or have to, have to like say, hey, this guy that made all these videos is a pedophile. Like we didn't want to do this. Like I don't know, I guess it might be just like everything or like his whatever is going on with him that led him to believe that we like prior to this hated him or just, being a manipulation tactic or whatever. Like it just wasn't that. Like what Ross was saying, some of us liked it. Like his like content. It's just, if you do something shitty, you should own up to doing something shitty instead of like covering your ass because there's literal children in this fan base who get hurt, who can be manipulated. And, being online and myself having grown up online, that shit stays with you and it hurts a lot. And we just want to prevent it as much as possible.
No, absolutely. And I hate banning users. It's pretty rare that I ban users that aren't like a merch bot,
Yeah.
some sort of spam
Yeah.
account.
Yeah.
Like I really don't like dealing with that stuff. I don't like any drama or controversy that, leaks into the sub. It's not something I want to have to deal with, I mean,
Oh,
I
yeah.
know all of the mods here, we're all adults and have other stuff going on, and it's just like, I mean, I'm gonna be honest, I've only been kind of half paying attention to this conversation because I'm working on other stuff also. It's just it's unfortunate to have to deal with it, but at the end of the day, it's just about making sure that the kids are safe and not being exposed to potential predatory behavior. And at the end of the day, battles between screenshots and whatnot, we have more than enough to infer that it is just in the best interest of the teenagers in the community to just keep them safe.
Yeah.
I ate that comment. Oops.
Yeah, and
But
he's gonna take
I
us to
probably have
court.
to I probably have to hop off. But
Oh yeah. No worries, dude.
sounds
Thanks for
probably-
dropping in.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. So some of you here have probably been seeing that, Kieran has been saying that we made fun of him for taking medication for his mental illness. That's not what happened. So when he says that, this is the exchange that he's talking about, right? Okay.
This is so ridiculous.
Yeah, he says, enjoy it. Keep thinking about me and reaching. You'll never have anything more than you have now because it was a rush of Nyx's bullshit post. So here, like, all this time he's been saying that, by the way, he doesn't care about Nyx, that, like, he's actually friends with them and all of that. And, he's getting aggressive about them again. and general people jumping on the hype train of hating me. I don't break the law unless you count, unless you consider copious amounts of Xanax. I stand up for literally anybody who's in the right. And today you punch down on somebody who's falsely accused. And it's this line that we like roasted him for. I don't break the law unless you consider copious amounts of Xanax. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, I mean, like having known people who have an actual Xanax addiction, like it's not fun. It's not funny, and it's not something that you should like. No, you said I don't break the law. It's literally illegal. I don't care. It's not a cool thing. It's not a funny thing. And for what I know, Xanax is no longer prescribed for anxiety like disorders like that unless they're very, very, very severe, where it's like you are literally either like you cannot leave the house, and even then you are usually prescribed other medications because of how Xanax is so incredibly addictive. It is not a good drug. There's many other medications better for anxiety disorders, and having been around people who have had Xanax addictions, people who are severely you know anxious, like have a very severe anxiety disorder, and me myself and other mods also dealing with this, we don't take this lightly. It's not a funny fucking joke, and it's not like something to like get people off your ass for. Like, if you have anxiety, like for real, that's, that sucks. We're sorry, but like, don't use that as like some sort of excuse or some sort of like pity party thing. Like, this is a real fucking disorder that people have and suffer with, and it's not funny. It's not something that you can use like that. It's not something light.
Yeah, and
Like,
let me just make something perfectly clear. Like, I think everyone in this call uh, has or has had depression or anxiety at some point, and none of us have done what you've done.
yeah, like, seriously, like, get therapy. And like, the whole claim of like how we called you freak, like I was the only one that called this guy freak, and it's because like pedophiles are freaks. They're not, in my eyes, they are not human. But, like when you ruin a child's life, when you hurt a minor, that's not something to be taken lightly. That's not something to be, just being like, hey, this person could like, like you just go full punch. You can't be soft with something like this because that's how they get away with it. That's how so many people get away with shit like this. It's very harmful. And it's something that we should, as a community, be way more vigilant of. Because it's the whole meme of like seeing fucking like pop punk guys being fucking dating 15-year-olds and shit. Like that shit's not funny. Like I see a lot of memes about that. I don't think that's funny. I think we should really get rid of that like stereotype. We should just never. I don't know. I get it's a joke, but still.
Yeah, I mean, but
We
I
should
mean,
move forward.
yeah, yeah. But I just wanted to say, like, if we're going by stereotypes, Jeyzeus is like literally the textbook definition of,
Blood on the dance floor.
no, like, kitten VC kitten.
Uh, I don't like that. Don't like that. Manny, never say that again.
Yeah, that's what you are, my man. That's what you are.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it's that whole meme.
You're the pop punk man, and you're the Discord moderator.
Oh, Christ. Well, yeah. It just, that stuff. It's not even like to clarify this part because I was the offending party here who really got, bit to the bone. Like, it's uh sorry, I'm gonna close chat. I can't take this seriously if I keep it open. Um yeah, I was the offended party. I said, like, you know, get over it, you know? Because, in my opinion, like, if you'd done something like this, where we have a 7-page document of, like, evidence, and we saw some pretty fucking grim shit, and have had the victims contact us with their stories, and hearing them say what they had to say, you have no right to pity yourself. You have no right to be like, hey, I can't deal with this. You have no right to say that because you hurt children. You have hurt children. You have hurt people. And what they have said has broken our hearts. And it's really just not, you know. Anyway, Manny.
Yeah, no, I mean, everything you said is completely correct. Like, it is hard to put into words just like how disgusting the screenshots that we have seen are. And I think the sooner we can get this guy off the internet, the better. And so here he is again, like sending another like letter that one of his friends wrote saying that, you know, they've never been mean to him. Uh, which, you know, of course, like, yeah, your friends aren't always going to like turn against you because if they're your friends, they're going to want to defend you, especially if like you've never been actively mean to them. And I think it's just worth noting here, by the way, that like all of this guy's accusers are kids, and nobody over the age of 18 has like ever said anything about inappropriate behavior.
Yeah. That's
That,
like honestly, like in regards to the people associated with him, like no one really wants to be like known as that person who had a friend that was a pedophile, right? Like no one really wants to out your friend. Like you don't want to out your friend as a pedophile. Like you'll obviously kind of build up a barrier to where you're like, no, there's no fucking way they did that. There's no way they did that. Like, and it's not like their fault or anything. It's just how humans kind of work. Like you don't really like when you're confronted with something so close and so intensely. I mean, you see it in families, you see it in a lot of cases where, you know, someone really close to a family or someone really close to you did something really awful and you're like, there's no way in hell they did that. They're such a nice person. They never did anything like that to me. Doesn't mean they didn't do it. I mean, like, it's, they did it.
yeah. You know, we
Just,
tell him that like, you know, for the past 2 hours it's just been one cell phone after another, just like he's doing in chat. Uh, he's saying that nobody was harmed. You know,
that's just not true.
that sure is a
We've
statement.
talked to them,
Yep.
and that's not what they have to say.
Why do you ask her to keep it a secret then? Why does she bring up to catch a predator? Because
Mhm.
because I say that to everyone.
That was just, come on. Like, I understand you're backed into a corner, but Jesus, jumping Christ.
Yeah. I don't know, man. When I flirt with people, I don't have to let them know I'm not a pedophile. Usually the only people I know who have to say that are required to by law because they're registered sex offenders.
Wonder why he... Yeah.
Yeah. Again, you just keep focusing on Nyx.
Yeah.
When Nyx
And
isn't.
also, like, sorry, go ahead.
No, yeah, just Nyx isn't the only one. We have so many other people come out.
Oh, yeah, Nyx isn't the only one. And, like, kind of to like, delineate how young Nyx is, they're grounded. That's why they couldn't contact.
Yeah.
They're grounded. They can't be on their phone. Their parents took away, or guardians or whatever, took away their devices.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I can't imagine saying, "Oh yeah, I can't hang out with my girlfriend today because she's grounded."
Yeah, we're like talking about how weird. I don't get it. Like, I don't. Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
like,
yeah, this is when he rage quits.
mhm. And it's like very clear, like, again, the whole like line of where we asked for proof where, like, if you say that to everyone, literally just go to any DM where you said that to someone and screenshot it, and we'll be like, okay, you say that to someone else, but doesn't do it. We again say it's like, hey, forced admissions and omission of information and just like really shitty screenshots, kind of, you can frame your case in that way. And this kid clearly, at least in my eyes, is being manipulated and was gaslit by saying, hey, your friends are going to turn on you, and kind of pitting these minors against each other through a game of essentially telephone. And it's just like there's no proof in any of this. Like, where are the 30 screenshots? Where's anything that he's claimed he's had? When if you want to really build your case, you want to put that out in the open and just be like, hey, or at least to the three people who are kind of like involved with this whole situation, right?
Yeah, I mean, exactly.
It doesn't make sense.
And I guess to just sort of wrap things up, you've had over a year to give us your evidence. You had 2 hours in this like discussion alone to give us your evidence, and you've given us nothing. You keep claiming you have evidence, but I've never seen a lick of it other than like for like low qual, badly cropped screenshots. Uh, and just you've had so long and you've never delivered on any of your promises. And at this point, like I don't think I don't think you have anything to say for yourself.
Yeah,
It's just better for not just the scene, but I think the entire world if you just got off the internet. You just log off and just get therapy, my dude.
yeah, like genuinely, if things are really that bad, just work on yourself. Don't hurt other people. Don't hurt other minors. Like, it's a very serious thing to be taking it like some weird like clout fest thing that you're trying to get. Like, it's not cool. Get real. Get therapy. Stop hurting people.
Okay, that's the series portion done with. Um, I guess if you guys have any questions, you can ask them now.
Q&A. I mean, yeah, it's kind of. I'm ready to be done with this. Never see any blip of this person ever again. Hopefully, we don't have to deal with anyone else who's trying to do the same thing. I mean, do you remember about around the same time on Twitter, like 3 people got outed for
Yeah,
being like groomers and pedophiles, and man, the internet's such a scummy place.
yeah, I mean it really is.